12 taon ko nang nagugustuhan si Helen. Pagkatapos ng kanyang ika-21 kaarawan, 6 na taon niya akong kinamuhian. Hanggang sa dumaan ang isang truck, at tuluyan niya akong binitawan. Pagkadilat ko, bumalik ako sa araw na kanyang ika-21 kaarawan. Nagpasya akong tumakbo palayo. Gayon, ahayaan ko na siyang maging malaya, at palalayain ko na rin ang sarili ko. Kabanata 1, Augustine, pumunta ka sa bahay ni na Helen. Katatapos lang niya makipag-away sa mga magulang niya sa birthday party. Nagwawala siya. Magulo ang boses sa kabilang linya. Agad na ibinaba ng mama ko ang tawag. Nabuhay akong muli, eksaktong sa araw na ika-21 kaarawan ni Helen. 12 taon akong nakatali sa kanya. At simulang gayong araw, magsisimula na niyang kamuhian ang pagkatao ko. Pero buti na lang, wala pang nangyayari. Binuksan ko ang phone, hinanap ang school group chat, at nakita ang lalaki na crush ni Helen. Nasa bahay si Helen. Nakikipag-away sa mga magulang niya. Puntahan mo. Pag-send ko, napabuntong hininga ako. Sumiksik muli sa isip ko ang mga alaala ng nakaraang buhay. Magkaibigan ang mama ko at mama ni Helen. 1 taon ang tanda ko sa kanya at lumaki kaming magkasama. Sa nakaraang buhay, nang tawagan ako ng mama ko, tumakbo agad ako sa bahay nila at nasalubong ko si Helen na medyo lasing, pulang-pula ang mata, at paulit-ulit na humihiling na iuwi ko siya. Pagdating sa bahay, hiniling niyang samahan ko pa siya sandali. Pumayag ako at uminom kami ng kaunti, pero pareho kaming mabilis tinamaan. Nang gabing iyon, pareho kaming nawalan na malay. Kinabukasan, kumalat sa buong school wall ang balitang dinala ko si Helen mula sa party at magdamag kaming magkasama. May video pa, ako habang inaakay ko siya papunta sa elevator at sa kwarto, at hindi na lumabas. Si Helen ang campus beauty, kaya sumabog ang tsismis. Kahit burahin pang post, hindi mapigil ang bibig ng mga tao. Magpakasal na tayo. Iyan ang sinabi ni Helen. Hindi ko makalimutan, puti ang suot niya, nakayuko, magkakahawak ang mga kamay, at sobrang seryoso. Alam ng lahat na gusto ko siya. Kaya natural lang ang engagement. Masaya ako. Iniisip ko magkasama kami habang buhay, mamahalin ko siya, poprotektahan, at hinding-hindi ko siya paiyakin. Panahong iyon, pakiramdam ko pinakamaswerte akong tao. Kabanata 2 sa engagement banquet, may pumasok na lalaking pamilyar ang mukha. Sinundan na tingin ni Helen ang bawat hakbang niya. Pagkatapos ng party, nakita ko si Helen sa makeup room, umiyak. Helen, may gusto ka bang iba? Kung nakuha mo na ang gusto mo, tumigil ka na sa pakikialam sa akin. Malamig ang tono niya. Pahabang ako ang sumira sa relasyon nila ng lalaking iyon. Sa loob ng 3 taon, wala akong narinig na may gusto siya sa iba. Mahal ko si Helen, pero hindi ko kailanman planong pilitin siyang pakasalan ako. Wala rin naman talagang nangyari sa amin noong gabing iyon. Kung ayaw niya, pwede ko namang kausapin ang mga magulang namin. Stop pretending. Kayo ng pamilya mo ang bahala kung kailan ang kasal. Tiningnan niya ako ng masama at umalis. Simula noon, 6 na taon niya akong kinamuhian. Tumunog ang phone ko. Mama ko. Bakit siya ang pumunta? Dapat ikaw. Umalis si Helen kasama siya. Halos himatayin ang tita mo. Ma, gusto ni Helen yung lalaki. Natural lang napuntahan niya ito. Hindi makapaniwala ang mama ko. Pero akala ko, hindi napipilit ang pag-ibig. Pupuntahan ko na lang si tita para samahan sa ospital. Pagdating sa bahay nila, abala pa rin ang mga bisitang nagpapakalma sa mga magulang ni Helen. Tinulungan ko silang mamaalam sa guests at sinamahan ang tita ko sa check-up. Pag-uwi ko, hating gabi na. Kabanata 3 pagpasok ko sa kwarto, napatingin ako agad sa photo album sa bookshelf. Puro tungkol kay Helen. Binuksan ko ito. Unang pahina, kami noong 10 kami. Nasa ilalim ng puno ng melokoton, nakangiti siya habang tinatanggal ko ang kelap ng bulaklak sa buhok niya. Sa baba ng picture, may sulat kamay kong pangbata. I like you. Nalala ko nung nakita niya ang album, 2 taon namin bilang mag-asawa. Medyo lumambot na siya noon, minsan pang nanonood kaming magkasama ng lumang movies. Pero nang mabuksan niya ang album, Augustine, plano mo ba lahat ito? Nakakadiri ka. Sabay walkout. Hindi ko maintindihan. 10 taon lang ako noon. Paano iyon magiging kasalanan ko? Kalaunan nalaman ko, sinusulan siya ng lalaki niya. Gusto ko sanang humingi na divorce, pero bumagsak ang negosyo ng pamilya nila. Hindi ko kayang pabayaan si Helen o ang pamilya niya. Tinulungan ko sila hanggang makabangon. Pagkatapos noon, hindi ko na binanggit ang divorce. Si Helen hindi na umuwi maliban kung may bisita. Para kaming estranghero sa isang bahay. Inakala kong baka ganito na talaga kami hanggang tumanda. Hanggang sa bumalik ang lalaking iyon. At sa isang litreto, ayos-ayos niyang inaayos ang buhok ni Helen habang nakangiti ito. Parang noong unang beses ko siyang nakilala. Mag-divorce na tayo. Pagod na ako. Gusto niyang bumalik sa lalaking mahal niya, hahayaan ko. Tinawagan ko siya. Ano na namang trip mo? Malamig niyang tanong. Hindi maapektuhan ang partnership ng companies natin. Mag-usap tayo in person. Nagmaneho ako papunta sa building nila. Pero hindi ako nakarating. Isang malaking truck ang sumalubong sa akin. May grupo ng batang nasa bangketa, hindi ko sila pwedeng banggain. Kaya hindi na ako umiwas. Sumaupok ang kotse. Tapos, kadiliman. Kabanata 4, Og, salamat sa pag-alaga kina mama at papa. Message galing kay Helen. Napakunot ako. Hindi ba dapat kasama niya ang lalaki? Hindi ko na pinansin. Tinanggal ko ang chat niya sa pinned. May pumasok pang isa. Si Diego, kababata ko. Gusto kong magtayo ng negosyo. Sama ka. Naalala ko, ganito rin ang sinabi niya sa nakaraang buhay, pero hindi ko siya nasagot dahil abala ako sa pag-aresto ng mga tsismis at engagement preparations. Kaya sinagot ko agad, sige, bukas. Nagulat si Diego. Nag-usap kami tungkol sa ideas, tapos nag-impact ako. Ang photo album, tinapon ko na. Kinabukasan, umalis kami papuntang SCT. Para sa negosyo at para makalayo kay Helen. Nakakita agad kami ng magandang oportunidad. Kulang lang kami sa puhunan. Sakto, tumawag ang kakles ni Diego, si Amanda. Anak ng mayamang negosyante, pero halatang mas gusto niyang chill life. Sa tulong niya, nabuo ang team. Ako, si Diego at si Amanda. Nag-attend kaming tatlo ng first industry event namin, hindi bilang anak na mayayamang pamilya, kundi bilang sarili naming tao. Kabanata 6, hindi ko inaasahan, naroon si Helen. 20 taon na mula nang una ko siyang makilala, pero kahit malayo, kilala ko pa rin ang postura niya. At ang kasama niya, hindi yung lalaki. Napatingin siya sa akin. Og, nagningning ang mga mata niya. Binitiwan niya ang braso ng kasama niya, tinaas ang laylayan ng dress, at lumapit sa akin, nakangiti. At sa unang pagkakataon, ako ang natigilan. Helen immediately reached out to link her arm with mine. I instinctively stepped slightly to the side, avoiding her. Her expression froze, as if she hadn't expected me to react like that. When she looked at me again, her eyes were already a little red. Hey, Helen. Diego sensed the awkward atmosphere and stepped forward to greet her. He and I had always been good friends, so he addressed her casually. Helen ignored Diego completely. Her eyes remained fixed on me, just like earlier. Helen, is there something you need? I sighed inwardly, not wanting to make things more tense than they were. Upon hearing my voice, Helen took a small step back, putting a bit of distance between us. Could you come back and marry me? The moment the words left her mouth, not only was I stunned, Diego beside me froze in disbelief. What was Helen doing? In the previous life, I had desperately wanted to marry her, and she hated me for it. In this life, I had let her go. I even helped her be with the man she liked. And now she was asking me to marry her. Don't you already have someone you like? I asked calmly. To my surprise, my heart didn't even stir when she mentioned marriage. I truly didn't like her anymore. No, it's not like that. It's just, Helen stammered. Have you seen my brooch? A familiar voice interrupted. Amanda had just finished talking with a couple of acquaintances and was walking toward Diego and May, lifting her skirt slightly as she moved. Helen's expression stiffened. Her gaze flicked from me to Amanda, then from Amanda's face to MYT. Who is this? Amanda also noticed Helen and gave her a bright, easy smile. She's the daughter of a close friend of my mom's, Helen, I replied, turning my head slightly toward Amanda. Then I added, didn't you wear your brooch when you went out? Amanda rolled her eyes at me and extended her hand toward Helen. Hello, Helen. I'm Amanda, their boss. Shut up. Do you even understand what a partner is? Diego muttered sarcastically, making Amanda glare at him. Helen's eyes moved from Amanda's hand back to Diego's tea. Suddenly, she let out a small breath of relief, as if remembering something. Chapter Pito, Augustine, what's going on here? After Helen left, Diego and Amanda walked to my side. How would I know? And you didn't even wear the brooch today. I thought you got tangled up in some romance trouble, so I came to help. Who knew you wouldn't follow my lead? Amanda winked playfully. What romance depth? Augustine has liked Helen for so many years. Let me count. Diego raised his hand dramatically, counting on his fingers. Amanda laughed. Alright, stop embarrassing yourself. I never had anything with Helen before, and I won't in the future. I gave Diego a light slap on the back, then turned serious. Don't forget the main business today. Right. Over there is Mr. Feng, my dad's friend. Let's go. Amanda pointed. We straightened up and went to introduce ourselves. But fate doesn't let you escape easily. Just after the party ended, after we had dropped Amanda off, my mother called. Augustine, your aunt called. Helen has nowhere to go. Can she stay at your place tonight? I know you don't want to be involved with her anymore, but she's someone I watched grow up, my mother sighed softly. She had always treated Helen like her own daughter. Even if I no longer had feelings for Helen, I couldn't just ignore her. Send me the location, I said. I'll pick her up. I had already blocked Helen's number and didn't want the situation to be a reason to add her back. Diego and I picked her up downstairs at a hotel. She was still in her evening dress, hugging her arms, shivering slightly from the cold. When Diego parked in front of her, she seemed dazed, her brows furrowed. I opened the door and, out of habit, motioned for her to get in. Ugh, why are you driving this kind of car? Her tone was resentful, with a hint of disdain. Diego, who had been smiling while handing her a blanket, froze. His smile faded completely. In the previous life, I never went into business, and because Helen always acted as if she didn't care about material things, I never realized she actually did. Helen noticed Diego's reaction and bit her lip, wanting to speak but unable to. Why not stay at the hotel? Why come to my place? I glanced at the building. It looked like her family had arranged the room. Before, every time our families traveled, you were always by my side. Now I'm staying at a hotel alone. I'm a little scared. She tugged gently at the hem of my shirt, her voice shaking. So why are you here, then? I came to find you. Of course. My mother must have told her where I was. Helen, I know you have someone you like. Now that I'm gone, you can be with him. After you left, my dad started arranging blind dates for me. I froze. The Ann family had always treated her like a princess. Why blind dates? Then it finally clicked. Why she had suddenly asked me to marry her earlier. To her, I must have seemed like a lifeline. I used to like you, I said calmly. But that doesn't mean I'm willing to marry someone who doesn't like me. Painful memories flashed, the 6 cold years from my last life. No, I like you. Helen sounded desperate, and she didn't seem to be lying. That only confused me more. In the last life, she loved that man so deeply she hated me for 6 years because of him. How could she suddenly like me now? Had she also been reborn? I saw the album you made for me in the trash can, she whispered. So she had figured it out. You should know why it was in the trash, right? Helen stiffened, tears pooling in her eyes. I handed her tissues and adjusted the blanket around her. Since she remembered the past life too, it was better to speak plainly. Helen, now that we've both come back, don't hate me anymore. And don't treat me like your only escape. Helen sobbed quietly. I sat beside her, memories flashing, her cold voice chasing me out of her room, her screaming at me for hitting her lover, her empty gaze at our engagement banquet. And also the softer memories, the little girl who said she wanted to marry me, the girl smiling beneath the peach blossoms. All of it, the 18 years I loved her, and the 6 years that broke me. Ugh, you, the streetlights illuminated her trembling silhouette. Yeah. Stop crying, Helen. I paused. Let's not torture each other again this time. The car arrived. Diego cleared his throat. I'll leave now, find her a room and have someone send her back tomorrow. I cut him off, stepped out of the car, and shut the door. I still had tasks to finish tonight and meetings tomorrow. As for Helen, she could meet her lover in secret again like before. But this time it had nothing to do with me. Chapter 8. Helen didn't come looking for me again. Diego mentioned occasionally that she had gotten engaged to her lover. Maybe something happened, but I didn't care anymore. The company was thriving. I was busy, but the work was fulfilling. Diego and Amanda joked around constantly, but when it came to work, they were perfect partners. Watching the sparks between them, I suddenly realized something. Do you like Amanda? I asked Diego quietly during lunch. He nearly choked on air, stammering like an idiot. Alright, I get it. If there's a chance, I'll ask her for you. His ears immediately turned bright red. Just then, Amanda returned with her food and gawked at Diego. Why are your ears so red? Normally Diego would fire back with some sarcastic line. No, he just kept his head down. Amanda looked at me. What's wrong with him? Feeling horny. Diego nearly died coughing. Amanda panicked, handing him water and patting his back. Watching them, I realized they didn't need a matchmaker. They were already orbiting each other. 6 months passed in a blink. The company stabilized. We overcame every challenge. At the celebration banquet, Diego finally confessed. Nervous hands, shaking voice, huge banquet. Amanda smiled, accepted the flowers, then shoved him playfully like she always did, before hugging him tightly. This was love. Not the unseated, exhausting, bruising kind I had lived through. Seeing them together, they turned to me next. Augustine, let Amanda introduce you to someone. Yeah. I have a friend, she's smart and beautiful. When I didn't respond, Diego dragged a chair and sat beside me. Augustine, whatever happened between you and Helen, you need to move on. Exactly, Amanda nodded. You're not planning to be single forever, right? For the first time, I felt my chest loosen. Having someone who cared about you didn't sound bad. Alright, I said. I'll leave it to you too. Everything was different from my past life. Every day was better. Until Helen appeared again. Chapter Sham, Augustine. I ran into Helen at the entrance, Diego said awkwardly. He had gone downstairs to buy cakes for Amanda, but found Helen being stopped by the receptionist. He couldn't pretend he didn't know her. I nodded for him to leave. Then I turned to Helen. She wore a white dress, a few stains on her shoes. She looked thinner. Ugh. I'm sorry, her voice trembled. I already knew why she came. Most likely, she finally realized her lover had manipulated her in the previous life. Maybe she regretted everything. But in this life, I truly didn't care anymore. Everything I did for you back then, it was my choice, I said. It's all in the past. If she wanted to apologize, she should apologize to the version of me who did, not the one standing here. It's all my fault, Helen shook, covering her face. I only now realized that I love. The door suddenly opened. I want grilled meat this afternoon. Before I saw her, I heard her voice. Valentina, my girlfriend, Amanda's best friend. Warm, smart, steady. She liked me and I liked her. We'd been together for 6 months, living a quiet, ordinary love. Sure. I know a great place, I replied, smiling without thinking. This is Helen, the daughter of my mom's friend, I added as Valentina turned toward her. Then I walked toward my girlfriend and introduced her properly. This is my girlfriend, Valentina. Are you joining us for lunch? You must be tired after traveling so far, Valentina said warmly. Helen blinked, startled. She looked up at me, confused about how Valentina knew where she came from. I smiled and glanced at the woman beside me. Her eyes were filled with the same joyful smile that I had. Can I have a word with Og alone? Anything you need to say, you can say it in front of me. I hadn't expected Helen to ask for privacy, but I didn't feel there was anything she needed to hide from my girlfriend. Sure, I'll wait outside, Valentina said gently, interrupting me with a smile before stepping out. Once the door closed, Helen looked up at me. I love you, Og. After you passed away in the last life, I only then realized that I loved you. In this life, I thought that since you didn't like me anymore, I should be with him. But the girl in front of me was crying uncontrollably. In the previous life, she had always worn a cold expression when facing me. But in this life, she seemed to always be on the verge of tears. I sighed. Don't you get it? You don't love me. You're just used to me being there for you, used to my love for you. No. I misunderstood you. Helen, I already have someone I like. You've experienced how fulfilling a good relationship can be. You should find that too. Helen, I hope you can be happy in this life, just like I am. Helen didn't respond, only continued sobbing. I handed her a few tissues. Do you need me to send someone to take you home? She remained silent. You can rest here for now. Someone will come take you home soon. Goodbye, Helen. I opened the office door and saw Valentina sitting across from Amanda's office. I walked toward Amanda's door where Diego was sharing a small cake with her. The sunset's warm glow stretched across the floor in a single line. If I followed it, I could hold Valentina's hand. She gave me a sense of tenderness and grace. She was a smart girl. As the light of the setting sun brushed across her face, I reached out and took her hand. She looked up at me suddenly. How did the conversation go with her? Chapter 0. Well, we didn't talk much. All those past events are behind us now, I said casually. But as I spoke, many images flashed through my mind. Those past events were vivid, yet they felt like fleeting smoke, disappearing into nothing. The sun had set. A gust of wind swept through the air. When I returned to the company, the security guard told me a handsome man had come to pick up Helen. I nodded. That handsome man, unsurprisingly, was James. He was the thorn between Helen and me, the thorn that tore our childhood friendship apart. The little girl who used to follow me everywhere and call me Og had hated me for 6 long years. I didn't know whether, on the day I died, she had shed even a single tear at my bedside. I lost myself in doubt for a moment, then sat at my computer and suddenly received an urgent work task. The company had been growing quickly, and we were working on a major project. The client was mostly satisfied with the first draft, and if we could land this deal, it would elevate the company to the next level. I was focused when my phone rang. The caller ID showed Helen. She must have reached her destination by now. I answered and immediately heard her trembling voice. Og, I could hear she was upset, but I couldn't comfort her. You're there now. Right. I cut her off. I'm here, Og. James and I are engaged. He came to pick me up to take me to his house. She spoke slowly. I wish you happiness. Silence. A long, heavy silence from both sides. About a minute later, I heard sobbing on the other end, deep, heart-wrenching sobs. But we were already 2 parallel lines, never to meet again. I hung up and blocked her contact once more. Not out of anger, but out of respect for Valentina. In my past life, I had experienced an unnatural relationship and marriage. I knew the pain it caused. I refused to bring any kind of unfairness into my relationship with her. I didn't finish the proposal until around 3 a.m. After stretching, I headed home. I had now settled in a city, feeling at peace. I bought a large house where I lived with 2 cats, Tigre and Flor. They were like childhood sweethearts themselves, growing up together in the home I gave them. Tigre, the older brother. Flor, the younger sister. They sometimes bickered, but most of the time they were joyful. Most of my childhood memories with Helen had been joyful too. But when we finally ended up together, those years ended with her hating me for 6 long years. No, my relationship with Valentina was flourishing. Everything felt harmonious. Chapter 11. I heated a glass of milk, drank it, and prepared for bed. Both cats ran up to me, rubbing against my arm. After washing up, I fell into a deep sleep. But the next morning, I was jolted awake by my ringing phone. It was Diego. His voice was urgent. Augustine, something's wrong. There's been an accident. I instantly woke up. What happened? Our company's deal got stolen. I frowned. Stolen? We had worked so hard for that deal. Countless revisions. Long nights. Just last night, the project lead said only a few tweaks were needed. I thought after a good night's sleep, we'd finalize everything today. The deal was worth a lot, 3 phases, totaling 50 million. Closing it meant completing a third of our annual target. But now it had been taken. Calm down. Don't panic, I told Diego. After some reassurance, he finally steadied his voice. Augustine. I don't know everything, but it looks like a company called down stole the deal. Got it, I replied. Check their background. I'll come to the office. A wave of unease swept through me. We had invested over 2 months of work into this project. No one would be calm about losing it overnight. Alright, Diego said before hanging up. I quickly freshened up and headed out. Down, could this be related to Helen? I muttered to myself. Chapter 11. When I arrived at the office, Diego and Amanda were already there, along with several core members of the team. Augustine, you're here, Diego said. Marco, the others greeted. Amanda nodded, concern in her eyes. Let's go to the meeting room. Inside, the tension was palpable. Diego immediately stood. Augustine, the company down is behind this. And the person behind them is James, the one engaged to Helen. He hesitated, as if wanting to say more. I understood. He was trying to imply Helen might be involved. Go ahead, I said. Keep talking. Diego hesitated again. Augustine, do you think this could be related to Helen? She's been coming to our company a lot recently. It shouldn't be related, I replied. We haven't had much contact. And only our internal team knew about the order. I never discussed any of it with Helen. As I spoke, I noticed the shift in everyone's expressions. Augustine, but that James is despicable. First he took Helen from you. He stopped, realizing how it sounded. I'm sorry, Augustine. I just think he's disgusting. I nodded. I wasn't fond of James either. In the previous life, he used underhanded tactics to steal Helen from me. No, in this life, he wanted to steal my business. Sometimes, I even wondered if the accident that killed me in the previous life had been orchestrated by him. Amanda shot Diego a glare. If you can speak properly, just stay quiet. Right now we need to focus on the solution. Diego shut his mouth. The rest of the team stayed silent, tension thick in the air. After a moment I said, Diego, Amanda, stay. Everyone else may return to work. Once the others left, I turned to the two people who had built this company with me. Amanda, you and Diego check for internal leaks. Also look into down. I'll go talk to Mr. Wang. Got it, Amanda said. Leave the home front to us, Diego added. Chapter 13. I left immediately and tried calling Mr. Wang. The call connected but went unanswered. Either he was in a meeting or he was deliberately ignoring me. Given the situation, the second was more likely. But I had to try. So I headed straight to his company. At the front desk, the receptionist told me I needed an appointment. I explained the urgency, but she kept her polite professional smile. Without an appointment, sir, you can't meet Mr. Wang. A cold chill ran through me. 2 months of work, gone just like that. Still, I refused to give up. I waited outside. Around noon, I finally saw Mr. Wang descending the stairs in a sharp suit. 2 assistants accompanied him. I immediately approached him. Mr. Wang, can we talk? His assistants blocked me. Let him through, Mr. Wang said. I stepped forward. Mr. Wang, did you see the proposal I sent last night? Is there something you're dissatisfied with? Your proposal is fine overall, he said. But we're not giving you this order. Sorry, Mr. What's the reason? I can get into specifics. But it's not because your proposal isn't good. He glanced at me, then added, I have a lunch appointment now. I'll be leaving. And with that, Mr. Wang walked away. Napatitig ako sa papalayong likuran niya, sandaling tulala. Pagbalik ko sa ulirat, naisip kong wala namang mangyayari kung mananatili pa ako roon. Pag-alis ko mula sa kumpanya ni Mr. Wang, bumalik ako sa opisina. Pagdating ko, agad akong nagpatawag na meeting kina Amanda at Diego. Diretso lang ang naging usapan. Ipinaliwanag ko ng maikli ang sitwasyon at sinabi ko sa kanila na malamang ay hindi natin makukuha ang order. Pero tiniyak ko rin sa kanila na maayos pa rin ang ginawa nating proposal at maaari pa tayong humanap ng ibang kumpanyang ka-industriya para hindi masayang ang lahat ng pinaghirapan natin. Tumango si Diego. Augustine. Wala ring tutol si Amanda. Ako na ang bahala sa mga kailangan. Pag-alis niya, biglang humarap sa akin si Diego. Alam ko kung bakit tayo natalo sa order na to, seryoso niyang sabi, dahilan para agad akong mataranta. Bakit? Tanong ko. Inasilip ko si James. Hindi siya galing sa mayamang pamilya. Ang pagkakatayo lang na kumpanya niya ay dahil pinuhunan, yon ng pamilya ni Helen. Hinala ko, nakuha niya ang order dahil sa koneksyon niya sa pamilyaan. Natigilan si Diego, halatang nagdadalawang isip pa. Naging mabagal ka na, Diego, sabi ko. Sabihin mo na lang. May kinalaman pa rin to kay Helen, sagot niya. Sa tingin mo ba naghihiganti siya? Dahil sa pag-ibig o galit? Sinadya ka bang saktan? Tinitigan ko si Diego. Hindi simple ang relasyon namin ni Helen. Pareho kaming nabuhay muli. Alam ko ang nakaraan niya, alam niya ang nakaraan ko. Sa nakaraang buhay, mag-asawa kami. Sa buhay na ito, hindi kami magkasintahan, ni hindi man lang kami magkarelasyon. Parang bumalik lang kami sa pagiging simpleng magkakilala, pero hindi ko nabalak ulitin ang mga nagawa kong mali noon. Pero ngayong buhay na ito, parang gusto pa niyang lumapit. Hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit. Hindi ba't dapat galit siya sa akin? Bakit ngayon parang pilit siyang lumalapit? Hindi siguro siya, sabi ko. Malamang si James ang may pakana. Hindi naman mahilig makialam si Helen sa negosyo. Umusok ang ilong ni Digo nang marinig ang pangalan ni James. Kung siya talaga, puntahan kong gayon. Pinigil ko siya. Walang mangyayari kung haharapin mo siya. Mas mahalagang gayon na maghanap tayo ng bagong partner. Napilitan siyang tumango, pero bulong pa rin ng bulong. May atraso na talaga sa atin, yang James. Opisyal na ang galit. Tama siya. Matagal nang may namumuong alitan, pati noong nakaraang buhay pa. Naupo ako sa mesa at nagsimulang maghanap ng posibleng bagong partner. Ilang sandali pa, tumunog ang telepono. Bagong numero. Hindi ko sana sasagutin, pero tumawag siya ng 3 o 4 na beses kaya napilitan akong sagutin. Hindi agad ako nagsalita. Pagkaraan na ilang segundo, may mababang boses na narinig. Si Augustine ba ito? Sino to? Si James. Sa wakas, nakakausap rin kita. Aniya, puno na pang-asar ang tono. Napakurap ako sandali. Anong kailangan mo? Wala namang espesyal. Gusto ko lang ipaalam na engaged na kami ni Helen. Fiance ko na siya. Sana lumayo ka na. Ramdam ko ang panggigigil ko. Hindi dahil kay Helen, kundi sa tono niya, karang nagutos. Huwag mo na akong sabihan tungkol sa relasyon nyo. Hindi ako interesado, malamig kong sagot. Mas mabuti. Pero kung hindi ka susunod, malalaman mo ang magiging kapalit. Warning lang to. Diyos ko, proud ka pa sa paggamit ng koneksyon para nakawin ang order. Balik ko. Basta panalo ako, sapat na. Tapos na tong usapan. At ibinaba niya ang tawag. Napatigil ako. Lalong lumakas ang hinala ko, baka pati ang aksidenteng nangyari noong nakaraang buhay ko ay siya ang may pakana. Wala akong ebidensya, pero lumalaki ang kutob ko. Nagpa-imbestiga ako. Sinabihan akong madali lang iyon basta tama ang bayad. 1 linggo raw ang kailangan. Habang hinihintay ko ang resulta, inimbita ako ni Valentina sa hapunan. Nasa baba raw siya ng opisina. Pagbaba ko, suot niya ang floral dress niya, mahaba ang buhok at nakangiti. Malambot ang mukha, parang dalagang mula sa Jiangnan. Nandito ako, Augustine, tawag niya. Pagdating namin sa restaurant, hindi nawawala ang ngiti niya. May magandang nangyari? Tanong ko. Makita ka lang masaya na ako, sagot niya, dahilan para uminit ang dibdib ko. Pagka-order niya, ibinigay niya sa akin ang menu. Napansin kong pinili niya ang mga putahe na gusto ko. Ako naman umorder ng mga paborito niya. Maya-maya tumunog ulit ang telepono ko, numero na naman na hindi kilala. Akala ko si James na naman. Hindi ko sana sasagutin pero sabi ni Valentina, sagutin mo. Pagkabukas ko, boses ni Helen ang sumalubong. Ako to. Binlock mo ako kaya dito ako tumawag. Sumenyas si Valentina na alis muna siya para bigyan ako ng space, pero umiling ako. Hindi mo kailangang umalis. Narinig ni Helen. Kasama mo siya. Kumakain kami ni Valentina, sagot ko. Tumayo si Valentina at kumaway sa telepono. Helen, tahimik sa kabila ng linya bago muling nagsalita si Helen. Gusto ko lang sabihin na wala akong kinalaman sa nangyari sa kumpanya niyo. Si James lahat yon. Alam ko, malamig kong sagot. Kung wala ka nang sasabihin, kakain kami. Huwag mo na akong tawaging putol ko. Natigil siya sandali bago nagsabing, wala na. Ibababa ko na. Pagkatapos ng tawag, tiningnan ako ni Valentina. Ang lamig mo, sabi niya. Tulad niyong iba. Pero sayo, hindi, sagot ko. Namulas siya. Nang matapos kaming kumain, inalok niya ako ng tulong. Kung kailangan mo ng pera, sabihin mo lang. May 10 milyon ako sa account. Kung kulang, hihingi ako kay Dad. Ngumiti ako. Hindi ko pa kailangan ngayon. Pero pwede ba akong bumisita sa mga magulang mo? Namula siya ng todo. Ang bilis naman, pero agad din niyang dinyal ang number na mama niya. Mom, si Peterson-in-law gusto kayong dalawin. Nagulat ako, pero tinuloy ko na. Magandang gabi po, Mares Valentina. Ako po si Augustine. Bukas pwede, masayang sagot na mama niya. Excited na kaming magkita. Pagkatapos ng tawag, naglakad-lakad kami. Nang malapit na magnegatibo 1-0 inihatid ko siya pauwi. Makaraan ang 3 araw, nakahanap ako ng bagong partner, mas malaki pa kaysa kay Wang. Nag-offer pa sila ng 30% premium, kaya ang 50 milyon naging higit 60 milyon. Masayang-masaya ang buong kumpanya. Pagkatapos na ilang linggong revision, napirmahan namin ang kontrata. Miyembro ng team ay binigyan ko ng 2 araw na day off at bonus. Dumating ang tawag mula sa investigator. Pagbukas ko ng file, doon ko nalaman ang totoo tungkol kay James na ang tunay niyang pangalan ay Angelo Lee. Umakyat siya gamit ang pera at buhay ng mga babaeng niloloko niya. May isang nagpakamatay pa dahil sa kanya. 10 babae ang niloko niya. At ngayon, pati si Helen. Gusto ko sana siyang babalaan ngunit napaisip ako, pareho kaming nabuhay muli. Malamang alam na niya kung paano umiwas sa ganitong klaseng tao. Makalipas ang 1 buwan, natapos namin ang unang phase at tuwang-tuwa ang kliyent. Mismong si Wang ang tumawag muli, halatang desperado. Ko, hindi nila kinaya yung project. Ibabalik ko sa'yo, gawan mo lang ako ng bagong proposal. Hindi na ako makikialam. Bibigyan pa kita ng 0% premium. Nag-isip ako sandali at pumayag. Matapos ang lahat, mahirap talikuran ang libreng pera. Kaya agad akong nagpatawag na emergency meeting kina Amanda at Diego. Pagkarinig ka lang ng balita, nagngingit-ngit na si Diego. Gayon gusto nilang umatras? Hindi na dapat tayo nakipagtrabaho sa kanila, galit niyang sabi. Umikot ang mata ni Amanda. Kung may kikitain pa tayo, bakit hindi? Sumang-ayon ako. Tama si Amanda. Pinaghirapan nating lahat to. Tapusin na lang natin ang proyekto para kay Wang. Tumango ang team at umalis na mula sa meeting room. Pero nang gabing iyon, tumawag ulit si James. Pagkabukas ko pa lang ng linya, sumabog na siya sa sigaw. Ano ba problema mo? Ninakaw mo ang proyekto sa akin. Wala namang malaki doon. Sa huli, ang mas mahusay ang panalo, kalmado kong sagot. Fine. Hintayin mo lang. Magbabayad ka sa ginawa mo, pagbabanta niya. Hindi ko nagustuhan ang tono niya. Angelo Lee, tumahimik ang kabilang linya. Sino si Angelo Lee? Ano sinasabi mo? James ang pangalan ko. O si James. Umasa ka na lang sa sarili mong buhay, sabi ko bago ko ibinaba ang tawag. Hindi ko alam na halos magdulot ng aksidente ang tawag na iyon. Habang nagmamaneho ako pauwi, may kotse na biglang sumagasa sa linya ko, diretsyo papunta sa akin. Muntik na akong mabangga. Mabuti na lang at naisalba ko ang manibela sa huling segundo. Doon ko napagtanto, mapanganib na tao si James. Pagkatapos na maingat na pag-isip, ipinadala ko kay Helen ang lahat ng impormasyon tungkol sa kanya. Ano man ang gawin niya roon, desisyon niya na. Alam kong hindi siya tanga, at malamang galit na rin siya kay James. Pagkatapos ko iyon ipadala, napabuntong hininga ako. Maayos ang takbo ng kumpanya, mabilis ang pagdami ng kliyente. Nakilala ko rin ang mga magulang ni Valentina, napakainit na pagtanggap nila sa akin. Lalo na ang mama niya. Kapag wala kaming ginagawa ni Valentina, inaanyayahan niya ako sa bahay. Pagkaraan na ilang bisita, diretsahan na siyang nagtatanong, kailan kayo magpapakasal? Ngumiti ako. Kahit kailan po. Ikinwento ko rin sa mga magulang ko si Valentina. Masaya sila, kahit may konting panghihinayang si mama na hindi si Helen ang napangasawa ko, si Helen ang palagi niyang inisip na magiging manugang. Pero nang makilala niya si Valentina, nabihani agad siya. Siya mismo ang nagudyok sa akin na magpakasal na kami. Pareho kaming mahal na aming mga magulang. Pareho rin kaming sigurado sa isa't isa. Kaya pumili kami ng magandang araw at, makalipas ang 1 linggo, engaged na kami ni Valentina. Masaya ang buong seremonya. Nandoon sina Amanda at Diego bilang mga tagapagpadulas ng kapalaran. Pag-uwi ko, pagod na pagod ako, pero kinabukasan pagkagising ko, isang headline agad ang bumungad. Naaresto si James. Fraud. Assault. Mahigit 10 babaeng na-scam. Naging viral ang kaso at buong bansa ang naghayag ng galit sa kanya. Kasabay noon, tumawag si Helen. Og, salamat sa tulong mo, mahina niyang sabi. Hindi para sa'yo yon. Para yon sa sarili ko, sagot ko ng diretsahan. Nandidiri ako sa taong yon. Alam kong wala akong ebidensya tungkol sa aksidente ko sa nakaraang buhay, pero batay sa mga nangyari, alam kong kaya niyang gumawa ng kahit ano. Lalo na pagkatapos ng muntikang pagbangga. Tahimik si Helen sandali bago muling nagsalita. Kahit na nagpapasalamat pa rin ako. Alam kong masama talaga si James. Wala akong naisagot. Pareho kaming natahimik. Og, congratulations sa engagement mo. Salamat, sagot ko. Mag-aral ako abroad. Kapag naging maayos ang lahat, baka hindi na ako bumalik. May panginginig sa boses niya. Pero sa pagitan naming dalawa tapos na ang lahat. Sana matagpuan mo ang kaligayahan, sabi ko bago ko ibinaba ang tawag. Pagkalipas na 1 buwan kinasal sina Amanda at Diego. Ako at si Valentina ang best man at maid of honor. Habang pinagmamasdan ko sila, 2 taong nagmahal, nagtiyaga at nagtagumpay, nakaramdam ako ng kaunting inggit. Ngunit higit doon na malaking pasasalamat. Hinawakan ko ng mahigpit ang kamay ni Valentina. Pagtingin namin sa isa't isa, isa ang sigurado ko, ito na ang kaligayahang pipiliin ko. At ingatan ko ito habang buhay. Chapter 20. Side story ni Helen, Filipino rewrite. Nang tumawag si Augustine, nagsimula akong mag-impect ng gamit ko sa opisina at sa maliit na break room. Kapag wala ako sa bahay, dito ako madalas nagtatagal, pero ayaw kong malaman niya iyon. Masyado siyang mahusay, masyado na maraming nangyari sa amin, at lagi kong sinasabi sa sarili kong, huwag yumuko. Huwag amining nasasaktan. Hindi ko rin maintindihan kung bakit bigla niyang iminungkahi ang diborsyo, pero sa kaibuturan ko, naramdaman kong baka iyon na ang tamang wakas. Marami ng sugat, maraming sama ng loob. Marahil mas mabuti na maghiwalay kami. Pero noong oras na haharapin ko na talaga ang katapusan, ang lahat ng galit ay naglaho at natira lang ang lungkot. Isang malalim, mabigat, hindi may paliwanag na lungkot. Kinuha ko ang litreto naming dalawa at papasok na sana sa drawer nang biglang tumunog ang telepono. Hello, ito ba ang pamilya ni Augustine? Pakipunta po sa Central Hospital. Para akong nabingi. Pagbalik ko sa sarili ko, nasa daan na ako. Hindi ko maalala kung ano ang naramdaman ko. Ang naalala ko lang, wala ni isang luha ang pumatak. Hanggang sa pag-uwi ko sa bahay na pinagsaluhan namin. Napadpad ako sa study niya. Nandoon, sa pinakailalim na estante, ang photo album na matagal nang nakatago. Binuksan ko. Ang unang pahina, kami noong bata pa. Maliwanag ang araw, nakayuko siya ng bahagya, ang pilik mata niya nagtatapon na anino sa mukha. Napakaganda ng panahon na iyon. Dati, hindi kami dapat nawi sa ganito. Lumaki kaming magkasama. Siya ang pinakamatalik kong kaibigan. Marunong siyang gumawa ng flower crown, magluto ng mga paborito ko, magturo ng mat ng walang reklamo. Siya ang tumatakip na mata ko sa haunted house, siya ang kumakaladkad sa akin palayo tuwing umiyak ako dahil sa mga magulang ko. Alam niya ang bigat ko. Alam ko ang bigat niya. Pero noong college, nakilala ko si James. Ang bilis. Ang motor. Ang dagat. Ang tibok ng puso ko. At ang tanong niya, hindi mo ba siya tinitingnan bilang pamilya na lang? Siguro tama siya. Siguro naisip kong pagmamahal ang pagiging kampante ko kay Augustine. Nang kumalat ang CCTV video namin ni Augustine sa elevator, nalito ako. Alam kong hindi gagawa na masama si Augustine. Pero siya ang nasa video. At nasa bahay ko siya. At tanging kaming tatlo ang may alam kung saan ako nakatira. Tapos sumunod ang pressure mula sa internet, sa tao, sa negosyo ng pamilya. Hanggang sa sinabi ng tatay ko, kung pakakasalan mo si Augustine, malalampasan natin to. Kaya pinili ko si Augustine hindi dahil sa pag-ibig, kundi dahil kailangan. At dahil alam kong hindi niya ako pababayaan. Pero nang sabihin niyang kakanselahin niya ang engagement, ako ang nagalit. Ako ang nahiya. Ako ang nag-walk out. Sa totoo lang, naging maayos naman kami noong nag-asawa na kami. Tahimik. Mabait siya. Maalaga. Parang hindi siya ang taong nanakit sa akin. Pero nang makabalik si James, dala ang video ulit, duguan ang labi, nagulo ang lahat. Muli kong inalala ang sakit. Muli kong inalala ang galit. At sa loob ng 6 na taon, kinamuhian ko si Augustine. Hanggang sa namatay siya sa aksidente. Habang iniwasan ang mga bata. Dahil mabait siyang tao. At doon ako unang umiyak. Nakalutang pa ang album sa mesa. Nabasa ang salitang lapis na, gusto kita. Pinunasan ko. Tinakpan ko ang mukha ko. Doon lang ako tuluyang bumigay. Pagkabuhay ko muli akala ko aksidente lang ang nangyari sa akin. Pero lahat iyon ay plano ni James. Hindi niya ako minahal, ginamit niya lang ako. At doon ko lang naintindihan, si Augustine ang totoong nagmahal sa akin. At ako, sa loob ng maraming taon, mali ako. Sa pagbabalik ko sa buhay, una kong naisip ay si Augustine. Hanapin siya. Ayusin ang lahat. Umpisahan ulit. Pero huli na. May mahal na siyang iba. Maganda, mabait, at karapat-dapat sa pagmamahal niya. At si Augustine, malayo na ang loob sa akin. Hindi ko siya masisi. Nagpaplano ako ng paghihiganti kay James. Madalas muntikan na akong mabunyag. Isa lang ang hindi ko inasahan, si Augustine ang tumulong sa akin. Siya ang nagpadala ng huling piraso na impormasyon. At nakamit ko ang hustisya. Pagkatapos noon, nagpaalam na ako.